This is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me again. This is Heart of the Woods, part 10. Woo! We did it, part 10. Get it? Alright, so, last we left off, it was very interesting. We learned that Abigail is a Disney princess. I still would love for you to hop on to part 9. Poke here! And tell me which Disney princess. I'm recording this before I get to see your comments, which is sad. But it's okay. I love interacting with you guys. It makes my day. I love it. But let's just kick straight off into this, because we've got a lot to do and a lot to see, and we made our first decision, so hopefully it was a good one. I don't know. Well, we'll find out. I play these blind, so. Alright. We don't talk on the right back. Tara doesn't even fidget. Oh, wait. I went backwards. Sadness, me. Okay. Tara doesn't even fidget. I figured the wet pants would make sitting still even harder for her than it already is, but she's completely still. It isn't until we stop in the village that she speaks.
I hope you don't think I'm mad at you for bringing us out here.
Ooh.
You aren't?
Nah, I know you just wanted to make something good happen for all of us. Things just didn't work out that way is all.
Yep.
Besides,
Her voice trails off into mumbles. After a moment, she takes a deep breath and restarts.
Coming here meant I got to meet you. I'm sure as hell not complaining about that.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm sure you've met plenty of fans in person.
And probably slept with them, too.
Yeah, but you're not just a fan. Not to me. You're a lot more than that.
Oh.
What are you saying?
Feelings, Morgan. She suddenly looks away from me. I think she's trying to hide the fact that she's blushing. Poorly.
I don't know, just I haven't ever really met anyone like you before is all.
For a moment, strange thoughts fill my head. I want her to say more than that. I don't know what I want it to be. I just want more. But I know better than to ask for that.
If it helps, I haven't met anyone like you before either.
Well, I could have told you that one. I am one of a kind, you know.
You are kinda, yes.
No argument there.
I'm having a hard time looking at her. I don't know why. This is a new feeling. It is feelings. I pushed away and reached for the carriage door instead. There's a weird air in the carriage right now, and I just needed to flush it out, you know, just in case it was fart.
Let's get inside. We still gotta figure out how much of your stuff we can fit in my closet.
Why are you moving into the house with Evelyn? I don't get that.
I mean, I could just leave some of my clothes on the floor. That's what I do at home.
Not happening. I like being able to see my floor.
Good job, Morgan.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
I can't help laughing. She laughs too. Oh, that's cute, guys. She's gonna be okay. I know she will. And I'm going to make sure she stays that way. Ominous Morgan. Back to Maddie. Oh, Madison. Oh, by now, I've all but given up on being able to see Tara again. I can't abandon the idea without at least trying to get through to her. She deserves to know that I'm okay. Or at least, okay as I can be, given the circumstances. At first, Abigail was hesitant about interacting with other people. I don't blame her. After 2 centuries of solitude, talking to 3 complete strangers within the course of a few days would be a pretty jarring shift. Despite that, she understands how important this is to me. She also warns me that we can't venture too far into the village itself. The magic of the forest only extends so far, and there's no telling what would happen to us if we went past it. The border of magic isn't clear-cut, so she made me promise to stay close to her. Just in case. I really am lucky to have someone as accommodating as her with me. Even if we fail, it means a lot that she's willing to try. I try to fill her in on what to expect with Tara and Morgan's personalities, doing my best to be as charitable as I can without telling her how likely Tara is to completely flip out when she sees a ghost. But once she's fully prepared, we make our way to the cabin. It's empty. There's no trace that anyone has been here in days. All of Tara's things are gone. That's an instant relief. It seems like a planned exit.
Did you find something, Madison?
Can't help flinching as Abigail floats to the wall next to me. Incorporeality is one of the things I haven't been able to get used to.
I think so. It seems like the two of them went back to the village.
Don't even entertain the idea that she went home early or anything like that. It's not in her nature.
Do you think so? That sounds like it would be dangerous. Why would they put themselves in danger like that?
I have no idea. Hopefully we can ask them ourselves.
Abigail starts to back away, looking down at the ground.
Madison, of course I'll do my best to help you. But I feel like it would be remiss of me if I didn't warn you to not get your hopes up. It took me years to be able to manifest myself. The chances of you being able to communicate with them so soon are low.
That's okay. I didn't have much hope to begin with.
I don't like being this dour about things, but I don't see how else I'm supposed to feel. She looks stricken by my words. I hastily try to gloss it over.
I mean, hey, you never know. If you can do it, maybe I can come along with you. The two of us together are bound to be able to accomplish more than we could on our own.
Nice.
Together.
Oh. She looks down, grabbing handfuls of her gown. She agreed to come with me before, but it seems like she's having second thoughts.
What's wrong?
It's just that accompanying you would mean returning to Eisenfeld again.
Oh.
I haven't returned since, well...
Oh no, I never even thought to ask about that. I tried to avoid talking about her death as much as possible. Strange as it sounds, it feels like it would be rude, in a way, invasive, but should have at least checked with her before suggesting we make our way there.
I'm sorry, Abigail. I didn't mean to...
To my surprise, she hurries back towards me and nearly bumps her head into mine as she closes the gap between us.
You don't have to apologize, Madison. I agreed to help you, and I'm going to honor that commitment.
Ah, she is so delightful.
Besides, maybe it could be good for me. I can't avoid going back there forever. And having you there will make the burden of memory much easier to bear.
Nice. Her conviction combined with her invasion of my personal space makes my face flush red, and for a moment it looks like she's worried she upset me. I give her the best smile I can manage. After years of making Taranormal, I'd hoped maybe a bit of Tara's charm and social skills would have rubbed off on me. They haven't.
If you say so. As long as you don't feel like I'm forcing you or anything.
Not at all. You've been nothing but kind to me, Madison. I want to repay that kindness.
Oh? Yep. Alright. If anything, I still feel like I'm indebted to her for saving my life. You kinda are. Just a bit. But I know she won't see it that way. I've done my best to be polite, but I haven't exactly made my grand gestures of thanks to her. Grand gesture? Tell me more.
Thank you, Abigail. Really.
Of course. Now then, shall we?
Okay, I'm going to stop us for half a second and say all of the, pictures on the walls and everything, and, stuff around. Wouldn't she be excited to ask more about it? I know I would freak out.
Lead the way.
Every time Tara and I visit Einsfeld, we were stared at everywhere we went. Now, seeing everyone walk by Abigail and me without so much as a glance is surreal. Abigail gazes at the buildings as we pass by, occasionally pointing out one she remembers from her time. Her voice is a strange mix of excitement and melancholy. Not sure if I should encourage her mood or try to comfort her. As we enter town square, we start to encounter larger groups of people. Every time one passes by, Abigail grabs my arm and moves closer to me. She's scared of crowds, or is it something about the villagers themselves that has her shaking? I'm tempted to ask her, but I think better of it. For all I know, this fear could be connected to the way she died. My mind runs wild with possibilities. Maybe she was burned as a witch, or cast out of her village? This definitely isn't helping. I need to focus. Thankfully, it's not too long before we reach Morgan's house. I just hope they're there, and more importantly, I hope we can reach them.
Are you ready, Abigail?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Get it. Well, this is a new spot. Little kitty magnets up on the wall. And that is some interesting plugs. I think we have to be in Germany somewhere. Because they have the little O faces. Yeah. We face through the wall into the kitchen. And there they are. Tara and Morgan sharing breakfast close enough to touch. I give nearly everything to be able to hug them right now. My feelings are a mixture of guilt and elation and worry. More than anything, I'm glad she's okay. Both her and Morgan. I need to talk to her. I need to talk to Tara. There's so much I need to say and ask.
Tara! Can you hear me?
Morgan, this is delicious. How the hell do you know how to make all this stuff?
Apparently she can't. She doesn't even look in my direction.
Most of it I picked up from older folks in the village. The rest I pieced together from random cooking videos.
When all this is said and done, remind me to give those channels a shout out in an episode, because this rules.
Oh, that's a face. I try waving my hands in front of their faces, hoping that maybe movement will convey what my voice clearly can't. Once again, no reaction. Morgan leads towards Tara, passing through my hand.
Maybe you'll learn enough while you're here to make a few cooking videos yourself.
Aww.
Are you asking because you actually think that'd be good, or do you just want to see another video where I almost burned my house down?
Morgan shrugs and gives Tara a small smirk. When Tara chuckles in response, I feel another surge of sadness. I knew I shouldn't have expected this to work right away, but I'm still chest-fallen. Having them this close hurts in a way I can't have imagined. All the time I spent feeling ignored while I was alive seems so trivial compared to this.
So what's the plan for today? Got anywhere in town we might be able to hit up for local lore?
Most of the official records of town history are sealed up in Evelyn's office, so those are off the table.
Ugh.
But we might have some luck checking out older buildings around town. She's done a good job of cleaning up evidence of what Eisenfeld used to be, but maybe you'll notice something I didn't.
Sure, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Her voice barely contains a trace of fire I'm used to. I have to hope that at least the remaining trace is a sign she'll regain the fire someday. At least she's not alone. Morgan reaches out and puts her hand on Tara's shoulder, squeezing gently. When she speaks, her words are soft and strained.
Are you going to be okay?
What do you mean?
After yesterday, if you need some time to rest, nobody's going to blame you.
Tara looks down at her feet. I can't read her expression, but the low volume of her voice tells me all I need to know. Quiet Tara is a worrying rarity.
I mean, I guess a little time off could help me. As long as we get right back to looking for Mads afterwards.
There we go.
Of course.
I feel like I should be hurt that she's not focusing on me, but I'm not. I'm just glad that she's got someone with her to keep her from burning herself out. I still don't feel any kind of power within me that I could use to manifest myself. Abigail's my only hope. I turn to her and trying to keep my voice level despite my desperation.
Abigail, do you think you can manifest? Even if I can't reach them, maybe you can.
Abigail nods, but she's frowning. My heart wasn't exactly soaring, but I can feel it sink even further.
I'll try, but whatever power I had that allowed me to appear to you has felt much weaker since I used it to save you.
Oh. Abigail closes her eyes and starts to lift higher off the ground. As I watch, I feel a strange feeling in the air around me. As if she's bending around her. Being pulled aside so she can step through the border between our worlds for a minute. It seems like it's actually working. Yeah, Disney space-time princess. Oh my god. I'm trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to say when I feel the energy in the air start to fade. Abigail seems to be struggling, furrowing her brow as she sways in the air. Her face scrunches and guilt stabs me like a knife. Is she in pain?
Abigail, stop. It's okay.
Oh.
Maybe if I just try a little harder.
Oh. I reach out, gently taking her hand, lowering her to ground. She opens her eyes, breathing hard. As much as I want to see Tara, it's not worth making her feel like this.
It's okay. I promise. We can try again some other time.
Ugh. Abigail gives a faint nod and stares down at her feet. Her hands ball into fists as her shoulders rise and fall.
I'm so sorry, Madison. I don't understand why this is happening.
There aren't any rule books for this sort of thing. I don't blame you for not knowing about things most people think are impossible to begin with.
Facts. This disappointment I'm feeling takes a backseat to concern for Abigail's well-being. I've already put her through a lot by making her come here in the first place.
We knew beforehand that this was a long shot. I'm just happy I got to see them again.
Are you sure?
I'm not, but I know that if I tell her that she'll want to try again. It's better this way.
I'm sure. You've done more than enough by coming with me.
I look back at Tara and Morgan, taking what I pray isn't my final glimpse at them. To my surprise, Tara is leaning against Morgan's shoulder, while Morgan's arm is wrapped around her back in a loose hug.
Thank you. As messed up as all this is, I'm glad that you're the one helping me get through it.
Tara's voice is soft and it carries a vulnerability I don't think I've ever heard from her before.
Same here. We make a good team.
Tara raises her head to look at Morgan, their faces inches apart.
We should have a team name, like the Dream Team or something.
We'll work on it.
I already had a feeling that two of them had something going on before all of this happened. I'm not that surprised, if I'm being honest. Stuff like this happened before with her, but it's always a one-night stand. Or some kind of quick fling. Never the kind of thing that would merit real vulnerability. Then again, she's never been in a situation like this before. Maybe losing me brought out a part of her I never knew she had. As if in response to my thoughts, Morgan leans forward and kisses Tara. It's a lot more than a simple peck on the lips. There's something deeper, so deep in fact, that I've turned away. It seems wrong to spy on something that's intimate. Next to me, Abigail has also turned away. Her face is a bright crimson, and her hands are close to her chest. Oh dear. Oh no. I didn't stop to consider that this is the first act of intimacy she's seen in 2 centuries. For all I know, this could be the first time she's ever seen 2 women kiss.
You okay?
She looks at me, slightly alarmed.
Yes. I'm okay. I just wasn't prepared for something like that.
Trust me, I wasn't either.
Abigail pauses for a moment, closing her eyes and taking a calming breath. A small smile crosses her face as her blush subsides, her wide eyes softening.
It is nice though, isn't it? A love like that can give someone incredible strength.
Oh, look at yourself when you say that.
Yeah, I'm happy for them.
I really am. Maybe this will help her cope better now that I'm gone.
But we should probably go. I feel really weird being here for this.
Of course. Maybe we can try this again another time.
Yes. Her words lack conviction, but she doesn't protest. I'll have to think of some ways to cheer her up once we get back to the church.
Hey, do you want to maybe...
The front door creaks open. All 4 of us freeze as we face the entrance. Evelyn stalks in and slams the door behind her. She doesn't say anything, but neither do Tara or Morgan. Tara's shaking, and Morgan places a protective arm in front of her as she glares at her mother. I shiver too, desperately wanting to look away, but feeling unable to. Part of me screams to do something, anything to get her away from Morgan and Tara. Yet, there's a stronger part of me screaming, I need to leave, I need to get out of here. But I feel just as frozen as the day I died. Ooh. I feel Abigail on my arm, pulling me backwards. She pulls my body through the connecting wall, and only when Evelyn is out of my vision can I breathe again. Abigail presses against me. Just as stunned as I am, I try to keep calm, telling myself that she doesn't even know we're here, that she can't hurt me anymore. Evelyn passes through the door, and by the corner where Abigail and I are lurking, and she stops. Slowly her head turns to look where we are, where there's otherwise just empty space. She's so close that I can see her face contort in recognition and shock.
Madison!
I jerk my head towards Abigail, see that she's already starting to head for the wall, waving for me to follow her. It's enough to snap me out of my trance. I run to her, casting a backwards glance at Evelyn to make sure she isn't following us. She doesn't move, but her face tracks us as we run. Right before I pass through the wall, her mouth opens.
How?
How? I don't stick around to find out what she says next. Abigail and I run as fast as we can, phasing through buildings and people with reckless abandon. After what we just saw, all our fears feel inconsequential. Jesus. By the time we're back in the forest, it's clear that Evelyn has no interest in pursuing us. For now, at least.
Madison, are you okay?
She puts her hand on my shoulder, pulling me closer. My head throbs painfully, and my breathing is shaky. But her touch grounds me.
I'm not sure. But I'm a lot better now that we have some distance between us and her.
I look backwards towards the village, half expecting her to come flying at us like some kind of demon.
She saw us, Abigail. How is that possible?
Abigail looks down at the ground and I realize she's shaking as hard as I am.
I wish I knew. Madison, she said something to you before we left, didn't she?
Yeah. I didn't catch all of it, but I think I know what she was going to say. She looked shocked when she saw us. Confused, even. I think she didn't know about us being out here.
Abigail's voice is barely above a whisper when she speaks. Her face is drained of color.
But now she does.
The message is clear. As long as Evelyn isn't Hinesfield, we can't be. I'm sorry, Tara. I'm sorry, Morgan. But it looks like you're on your own. Shoo! Abby. Wait. But her name is Abigail. Abby? What? The midday sun sits high in the sky, setting everything in glitter. The vibrant music of the forest, the pitter-patter of dripping snow, the chitter-chatter of birds, and the accompanying breeze is especially loud today. The events of yesterday are a forgotten nightmare, and so today must be a dream come true. Madison stands with her back to me and to the church, facing the forest. Her head is tilted back ever so slightly. For the first time, she looks truly at peace. For the briefest moment, she's framed by sunlight. Then, perhaps sensing me watching, she turns around and smiles at me. I can't help but smile back. Without a doubt, the past several days have been the happiest of my extraordinary long existence.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I did. It's getting a bit easier.
That's wonderful.
I know that isn't true, that she tossed and turned and sighed until early in the morning. I know, but I understand. Whatever it takes for her to feel more comfortable, more home, I wish I knew how to help. For now, for me, sleep was the last thing on my mind after I passed. I explored endlessly, backtracking over and over until I knew every step of these woods. I made the most of my situation as best I could, rather well, if I do say so myself.
What would you like to do today?
Let's go back to that forest clearing. The one where the fairies live? I'd like to see it again.
My soul sings. Yeah, it does. Look at that. That out of everywhere we've been, that would be the place she wants to return. I rush to her side, drawn to her presence like a magnet. Simply being near to her makes me happy. Part of my mind screams at me that I don't deserve it. Oh, you deserve it. You totally do. The same way that she doesn't deserve to be so miserable. Still, I put on my brightest smile as I touch her arm.
That sounds perfect. I'd like nothing better. Shall we go now?
Yeah, sure.
Get it. As is tradition, I lead the way out of the church and towards the forest. The trees and branches part invitingly, familiar and old. I ask the forest to take us to the clearing, and I can feel it ripple in response, not physically, but in my heart. I know that the forest is listening. It's difficult to explain. So much of this existence has become habit and routine for me that I keep taking for granted the difficulties Madison must be going through. The emotional turmoil, coupled with the way her own understanding of the universe itself keeps changing, I feel another pain in my heart at that. A step of guilt once more for enjoying her presence. Madison accompanies me unhesitantly, her steps more confident than they used to be. We walk side by side. I relish the closeness. I wonder if it even crosses her mind. Oh, so pretty! When we reach the clearing, Madison sighs contently. Relaxed and easy, a tranquil expression settles on her face, like a masterpiece of art. I'd spend the whole day appreciating that look if I could. The grove's serenity is contagious. I also feel a little more at peace here. Oh, and we head for the shore of the pond, as still and glassy as ever.
I really love it here.
Oh,
It's so calm.
it is. I nod. Of course, we've discussed it before, but I don't mind. I can listen to her talk about anything for any amount of time.
It actually reminds me of somewhere back at home. There's a little lake near where Tara and I live. Sometimes I like to go and sit down there to think. There are a ton of geese and ducks around too. Sometimes they won't leave you alone, so you just have to ignore them.
I envision a flock of birds surrounding Madison, all quacking and vying for her attention.
Maybe they want you to sing to them too.
Good job, Abby. Madison laughs. Abby and Maddie. Oh, that's so cute. Ah. Sorry. Just love this. Madison laughs, sweet and subtle. It's the most beautiful sound in the world.
Nah, they just want food. It's really popular to go down and feed them. Moms do it with their kids a lot. But then the birds get so used to it that they think every human has frozen peas for them.
They must be disappointed quite often then.
Yeah.
She trails off, looking wistful. I'm sure that she's thinking of home. I try not to ask her much about her life before I met her, because I know that the memories hurt. To my surprise, though, Madison clears her throat and continues talking.
I wish that you could see it someday. My home, I mean, in America. I think you'd like it there.
I'm sure that I would. I'd love to see any place that you care so much about. All of the buildings and the lights.
Oh. Try to envision what it must be like, but it's futile. There's so much that I don't know. So many things that I haven't seen. Trying to imagine it is like trying to imagine a color that I've never seen before. No matter what she says, it's impossible to visualize. Even the memories I have of the few times I left Eisenfeld have long since faded. To me, the only world that exists now is the forest.
I keep thinking, in your time, what would I have been like? Would I be the same person if I never fell in love with films?
Films?
Films.
Oh, it's like a play that you can watch anytime. They're really compelling.
I see.
You don't. Madison moves her arms a little, looking like she wants to say more, but eventually just shakes her head. She smiles a bit sadly.
There are so many things like that. Films or events in history that are so normal to me, but that I keep forgetting you don't know about.
I mean, yeah, she missed both world wars. And kind of a lot of turmoil.
So if I ever say anything that makes no sense at all, I can try to explain.
There are a lot of things I've wondered about, it's true. For instance, sometimes I'll see great noisy machines up in the sky. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Madison giggles again, but I don't know why.
Yeah, those are called airplanes. They're kind of like giant carriages that carry people around. That's how we got from America to here.
What? Don't tease me like that. There's no way something like that could fly.
No, it's true. It's really true. They're the fastest way to get around the world. There are also these things called cars, which are much smaller and only fit a few people. But most people own their own car and use it to get around.
Do you have one?
I do.
Why not use that to cross the ocean?
She laughs again, but I don't understand why. At first I feel embarrassed, the gulf of knowledge that I lack, nearly as wide as the ocean that she claims to have crossed. Then she steps closer, placing her arms around me in a light hug. Again, I don't know why. But it's lovely. I feel myself relaxing, leaning against her arms, just enjoying the closeness, the comfort, the affection. Far too soon, Madison relaxes, and I regretfully pull away from her. She gazes up at the sky, and for a brief moment I anticipate another lesson about the modern world.
I've been thinking a lot about what you said the other day. About how you've never wanted to leave this place.
Yes, I'm far too cowardly for that.
And in many other ways, too. Oh, you have such a deep, dark story that you're not telling us, and it's so sad.
I don't think that's cowardly at all.
Oh?
It's difficult to leave behind what you know and what feels safe. In fact, it's really scary.
Yeah.
I know that the two don't really compare, but before I decided to quit Tara's show, I felt the same way. Like I was afraid to leave, just because I was so used to it being part of my life. But I decided that if I wasn't happy with how things were, that I should just take the risk and change something. Everyone has those worries, though. That doesn't make you a coward.
Madison half smiles, the side of her mouth curling up just a little bit.
If we ever do find a way out of here, maybe you could come back to America with me.
Oh. Also, the just tiny wisps of just like, if you can see it in her glasses as it goes by, but just tiny little light wisps that go up and around everywhere in the scene. Just kind of make it a little bit more fascinating to watch visually. Love it. She's joking. I'm sure she doesn't mean it, or at least not fully, and yet my heart flutters like a bird taking flight. Even after everything that's happened, and that she'd even have concern for someone like me. She truly is the most extraordinary person I've met. And as happy as her offer makes me, it really hurts like a knife in my heart because I know that it could never be. I wouldn't deserve that kind of happiness anyway. You're allowed to! Still, I smile back in kind.
That might be nice. Would I have to ride on an airplane?
Oh, definitely. People don't really take boats across the ocean for travel anymore. Not nearly as much. Pretty much everyone flies.
Yep.
Isn't that scary? How does something so heavy manage to stay up in the air?
It's pressurized rocket tubes. I mean, I went to school, actually, to learn pressurized rocket tubes. And that's what it is. It's able to stay in the air because a physics phenomenon combined with pressurized rocket tube. Yep.
It's kind of scary the first few times, but you get used to it. As for how it's possible, well, there's all sorts of science behind it, but that would take too long to explain.
No, it doesn't. The wings. Like this, with a little hump. The air goes over each of them. One gets a little bit more compact, and the other one takes a longer time because it goes over a longer surface area. Thus, there's less pressure, meaning it goes up, and more pressure down here. So there's a pressure differential that helps the plane go up. While at the same time, the pressure in the tube makes it so that way the people inside don't die. Sound good? And then the rocket is fairly simple. You just throw enough rocket energy out the butt and zoom. Not too hard. Rocket. You'd have to explain rocket. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it would take a little bit more. No, they have gunpowder and... Yeah. Just like the energy from like a cannon. Just sustained and out the butt. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna keep going.
Anyway, though, you could stay with me and Tara. We've got plenty of space. Or we could help you find your own apartment. There's a lot you'd have to learn about the modern world, of course, but it'd be worth it, and we could help you learn.
Madison continues, explaining this and that procedure we'd have to go through and how we'd overcome each obstacle. I play my part, smiling and nodding along. It's an easy role. It does sound wonderful. In fact, there's nothing I'd like more. And though at first I thought she was joking, she's being completely serious. Yeah. Because she thinks she's going to get out of here. And, she's allowed to think that way. You should try it as well. You deserve it. Don't think you don't deserve. You deserve it. It makes it hurt even more. Oh, honey. Because I know it's impossible. But nothing's impossible. We got this. I close my eyes to help hide the tears that have sprung up there, unbidden. Fortunately, Madison doesn't even seem to notice. Her voice trails off, and when I open my eyes again, I see that she's looking past me, her eyes wide with awe. I spin around, fluttering around far too early in the day.
Are those the fairies you were talking about?
Whoa.
Yes.
Hi. A handful of them flit around the trees and lights, paying us no mind. They move like dancers, their motions fluid and in sync with each other. As one rises up to adjust the hanging light, another fairy weaves between the branches, carrying something in its hands that I can't see. Though I only spy a few of them right now, I'm sure that there's many more just out of sight, deeper in the grove or otherwise nearby. Madison watches them with unabashed awe.
What are they doing?
I shrug.
I'm not sure. I've never seen them out during the day like this. Usually they stay hidden in their hive until the moon is out.
Hive? Hold on.
They aren't like humans. They're something entirely different. Even though I've spoken with them before, I don't really understand them.
Wait, they can talk? Like they can speak human language?
Yes. They aren't the most eloquent, but yes.
I see.
The only time I've talked with them was the first time I came to this grove all of my own. First they tried to drive me out, but eventually realized that I meant no harm. Since then, we haven't interacted.
They're part of the forest too, right? In the connected way that you were talking about before.
Yes.
She makes a sound in acknowledgement that doesn't say anything more. However, implications or meaning that might have to her goes unspoken. Soon the fairies disappear once more into the trees. Whatever business they called them here finished, they go silently, not even the hum of their tiny wings reaching us. After only seconds, we're left all alone again.
They weren't anything like I expected.
Really? How so?
In stories I've heard, fairies are always smaller and look like little people with wings. Not like what we just saw.
Whoa.
And they usually live in flowers and fields, not the snow. But those are just stories, of course. I keep having to remind myself that this is real life. And that real life doesn't care what happens in stories.
Madison looks down at the pond. Gently, she places the tip of her foot into the water. Of course, the water remains still, like she isn't even there. She takes a tentative step forward, still standing upon the water, supports her effortlessly. Her hands are slightly outstretched, as if she might lose her balance or footing and fall in. She turns around to face me.
I had an idea, actually. About getting out of here. Do you think that the forest spirit could help us? It's powerful, right? Maybe it could use its magic to make us humans again. We could even talk to it together. You'd seriously be welcome to come back with me and Tara. I'd like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I can't look at her, can't meet her eyes. All I can do is nod, try to smile, hoping that she doesn't see my tears.
I'd like that too.
I like the light effects that they have coming down from above. It's actually fascinating.
Perhaps it could help. There's certainly a chance.
There isn't. Her face lights up. Even with the prospect of leaving, makes her happy.
Great! Maybe we can plan together what the best way to ask it would be?
I just nod again. That's all I can do.
Sure.
Can't bring myself to tell her the truth, that no matter what she asks, what she says, there's no way the spirit can grant her wish. It's not just something that can be reversed. Her mortal form was destroyed by Evelyn, just shortly after I saved her spirit. So far as the rest of the world is concerned, Madison reigns no longer exist. Neither the Force Spirit nor I have the power to remake her. Oh! There's no escape. Chapter 4. Oh, that's pretty. Abby. Morgan. Another morning. Nothing's changed. No progress, no hope. Thanks, Morgan. The only difference this morning is that Tara's still asleep. It's the first time I've woken up before her since we started sleeping together. I'm glad she's still sleeping. I can tell she needs it. Slip out of bed and dress silently. My next move would be heading to the shop. Sticking to the routine is what's kept Evelyn's off our backs for now. The instant I start thinking about Evelyn again, I'm hit by a powerful urge to climb back into bed and wrap my arms around Tara, hold her for a little longer. I don't. She needs a rest, and there's still some time before she leaves. Somehow thinking about that makes me feel even worse. I try to push the thoughts away, but her voice does that for me.
Oh shit, what time is it?
She's sitting up in bed, rubbing her eyes. She's still wearing her clothes from the night before, or at least the top half. But her sitting up doesn't mean she's actually awake.
It's still early. You can rest more.
No, it's fine. I got this.
I'm just going to go spend some time in the shop so nobody comes to check in on us later today. Get some sleep. I'll be back soon.
You sure?
I move back to the bed and kiss her forehead before lowering her onto her pillow.
I'm sure. I'll wake you up when I'm back.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Thanks, babe.
Babe.
I mean, thanks.
Dead silence.
I know what you meant.
Thanks. I'm out the door before either of us can say a word. I don't want to think about that right now. I just need to get to the shop. I'm so focused I almost slam into Evelyn the second I step outside.
No need to rush, dear.
My brain jumps to panic mode. Why is she here? She's never here in the morning. Did she come for us? The door isn't shut all the way. I can run back inside, grab Tara, get out. I know deep down that it's pointless to try. If she wants us dead, we'd be dead. I don't know why she's sparing us, but if she changes her mind, we won't get a warning.
What do you want?
Her mouth curls into a frown.
Am I not supposed to take an interest in my daughter's life?
No.
I thought you had outgrown that phase.
Grit my teeth. The sight of Tara's body being flung into the wall, Maddie's room in the cabin hauntingly empty. She doesn't have the right to even pretend to be my mother.
I'm not your daughter.
Morgan!
I flinch as she raises her voice. I hate letting her get a rise out of me. But there's too many memories making me afraid of that sound. She just sighs and her features sink. She looks visibly hurt. Only almost. There's still something inhuman about her expression. Like her eyes. How terrifying they are. Something I've never been able to understand.
You can be so cruel sometimes.
You
weren't always. When you were young, you were the sweetest thing. You would never imagine the things you say to me so casually now.
Clench my fist. Have to keep it together. My nails push slightly against the skin of my palm. As always, my fingers freeze before they draw blood.
I'm going to work.
My voice comes out as a rasp, and I cringe at the weakness of it. She puts her hand on my shoulder, and as I try to walk past.
Work can wait, dear. I'm sure your customers will understand. I have something to show you.
Uh-oh.
I thought since you were so desperate to see in my office, I could give you a little glimpse of what I keep in there.
No. Evelyn drops her hand, her lips twisting into a sickeningly sweet smile.
If you're not interested, however, I'm sure your American friend would be eager to join me.
My blood freezes. I want to hit her. I want to scream at her. I'm not sure if it's fear or the curse she's placed on me that keeps me rooted to the spot. I can't even look up at her. She knows she's won, as she always has. I can feel her eyes on me as she waits for me to follow her. Oh, be safe, my dear. The moment passes, and she makes a sound of affirmation. She turns away.
Now come with me, dear.
She knows she won, too. I figure out where she's headed after a couple moments of walking. The forest. She's taking me in there, then. This could be it.
Ah, here we are.
I look back at the house for what I hope isn't the last time it's going to happen if Tara wakes up and can't find me. What if she never sees me again?
Tara.
I mutter her name under my breath. Some dumb childish part of me hopes that she heard it somehow. It's better she's not here, but I wish she was.
What was that, dear?
Nothing.
I ought to thank your friend. She's made motivating you so much easier.
Ugh.
It's nice to see you caring about someone other than yourself for once. I'd almost think you were finally growing up, if you weren't so stubbornly holding on to your teenage rebelliousness.
I don't say anything. I keep my face blank. 1, 2, breathing. She pays me no mind. We walk into the forest, past the initial tree line into the depths. At least I know where we are. Or I thought I did. As we keep on walking, I realize that I don't know where we are at all. Don't recognize any of this. The trees were different. These aren't the ones I know. These aren't even the ones I saw when we started walking. Walked this path dozens of times. There's no way I'm making a mistake. The branches blot out the sun even more than usual. The shadows seem to blend around Evelyn. I hear the creaking of old wood in the darkness. It almost sounds like the trees are moving. Never seen the forest behave like this. I've never seen anything behave like this. As we walk, Evelyn keeps turning her head to glance at me, probably trying to see how scared I am. I don't let my expression waver. I don't let her in. She won't win this one. The things around me don't even look like trees anymore. They're too gnarled and rotten. They twist into shapes that should be impossible. They form walls around us as we walk, pushing forward. I can't help drawing in on myself. It's like the whole forest is closing around us. It's getting harder to breathe. I feel like I'm about to get crushed by the forest itself. And just when I think I can't take it anymore, we break into a clearing. The forest spirits. Oh, and in the center of this clearing is a beautiful, radiant tree. It's actually green. Real, brilliant green needles. Trunk is so thick and sturdy that the bark makes it look armor-plated. The rich scent of pine fills the air, and the shadows around us are kept at bay by the shimmering gold light. I can breathe again. Crisp, clean air fills my lungs. The awful sensations of the twisted forest are all but forgotten. I reach out my hand to it, but only reach. Something inside me tells me I'm not supposed to touch it. That I'm not even supposed to be here.
What is this?
She ignores me. Or at least, I think she does. She turns around to look at me. I'm too transfixed by the tree ahead of me. I don't know how long I'm standing there, staring, but sometime I notice the air around me change. My limbs begin to numb almost immediately. When I look back at Evelyn, she's glowing, an oily shimmer all over her body. And she's smiling at me. Smiling.
You were so peaceful, so calm. I can't remember another time when you were so relaxed. I hate to interrupt it. Really, I do. But I only have so much time to spend here.
Ugh.
Do you understand?
She starts walking towards me. That's when I see the knife in her hand. I try to open my mouth to speak. I try to move my feet away from her. I can't. Completely still, impulse crushes against the straight. My heart hammers in my chest. Every muscle in my body is frozen. I can't even shake.
This forest spirit. It's so young. As small as it is, the power within it is enough to melt the ice in this place, to draw you in. You love it so much, even though you'd only just met it moments ago.
A rush of understanding fills me, the warmth and peace in this place. A haven for the cold, and we are the intruders.
I always knew you were part of this forest. Much more than any of the others. This confirms that.
Okay. She grabs my hand and holds it up, examining my palm, running my fingers over its creases. Her fingers over its creases, as if it's like nothing she's ever seen before.
I thought it would make you dangerous. It didn't. It made you weaker.
She presses the blade to my palm. My mind screams as my body, desperately trying to get my muscles to respond. Oh, no.
Your one chance at success, of escape. And you're weakened by it.
She laughs to herself, like she knows a joke that I'm not in on. With a swift motion, she drags the knife against my palm. I stare in horror as the blood trickles and pools from the open gash.
Since you loved it so much, I wonder how it will feel for you to be the one to kill it.
My strings are cut in that moment, and I fall over. The rush of sensations rush over me all at once. The pain, the cold. I scream out, clutching my palm. I turn, try to crawl immediately. My instincts shouting at me to fall on my knees over and over. Get up, run, run. But it's too late. Evelyn grabs my wrists so hard I can feel the bones are about to break. But she swings me around and presses my bloody palm into the forest spirit. Before I can rip my hand away, I feel the voice bursting forth from within. Morgan? Pain rips forth from my chest. The more I try to hold the words back, I cover my mouth with my hands and stumble back in horror. But it's too late. An unexplainable sound fills the air. A hideous groaning. And I know what it is. I don't want to admit it to myself, though. It's the spirit. Blackness moves up, and the shining green needles. The calming aura disappears completely, and is replaced by something else. Pain. Hoo. It's pain. Fall to my knees as the trunk begins to twist into itself. Bits of bark fall into the snow. The rotting blackness creeps up from its roots. The unsteady trunk begins to sway. The needles wither and die. My head is filled with its suffering. I hear the crackling then, the black tar seeping from its bark, smelling of death. It burst into flames. Morgan.
No.
Shoot. I try to hold my mouth closed. Incantations leave my throat. In a voice that's mine, but yet isn't. Evelyn stands further back now, watching the scene before her. Her face is contorted into a terrifying grin. She's enjoying this. Oh! The crackling grows louder. Sorry, this is intense. The crackling grows louder. My breath catches in my chest, and out of the corner of my eye, I see Evelyn, hand outstretched.
No! Don't! Stop!
With With a crack louder than thunder, the spirit's trunk splits in two. A beat of silence follows. And then I hear the screams. It comes from all around me, something crying out from within the woods, a shrieking, earth-shattering wail. My heart breaks. It's not something in the forest. It is the forest. Somehow the trees around me are screaming in pain. I'm screaming now. I can barely hear myself through the shrieking vortex around me. I can't look. I bow my head, still screaming as the fire burns. Even the fire feels wrong. It's cold. Freezing. The fire blooms around the tree, shooting high above the tree line in one giant, blinding burst. The tree is gone. All that's left is a circle of scorched earth. The burn is more intense than anything I've ever seen. It looks like it's stretched down forever. Somewhere in my heart, I know nothing will ever grow here again. The screams fade. I slowly take my hands from my ears.
Thank you for being such a help, dear. Really.
You're a monster.
You are a monster.
How funny. Your mother said the exact same thing. You really do take after her.
I can't gather my thoughts enough to respond. The screams are still echoing in my mind.
Never forget this day, child. In the brief time you have left, I want you to know for certain that you don't stand a chance at changing your fate. You never have. None of you ever had. And when the time comes for you to serve as my vessel, I'll make sure the next one won't either.
Ugh. She reaches out towards me and I prepare for the worst. But all she does is pat my head and rifle my hair.
You can find your own way home, I assume. I know how much you love these woods.
Miserable. She gives another chuckle as she turns and walks away, heading back into the shadowy trees. She disappears into the darkness. All that's left is me and the disgusting burnt circle. My mind is blank, numb with shock. Quietly, slowly, one thought begins to take form. Oh, there's always something we can do, for sure. No matter what it takes. There we go. Okay. Saving. Flame and tinder. Ugh. She'll pay for this. No matter what it takes. She tried to break me for years, over and over again. I've never let her, and I'm not going to let her do it now. I don't care how powerful she is. I don't care what she did to Maddie. She's going to pay. And Tara and I are going to make sure of it. We'll destroy her. Once and for all. We'll leave this place behind for good. Together. And nothing's going to stop us. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here because... Shoo. Oh my goodness. Wow. Alright, so... I don't want... Oh my god. Just oh my god. Oh my god. Hit the subscribe button so we can see what's coming next. Come back. Subscribe so you can come back. Because, oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you all. Stay safe. And I'll see you later. Bye!